You know, we're surrounded by all these complex ideas, right? But how do we actually share them with each other? Well, the funny thing is, the answer isn't always about using more words. It's about using the right ones. And believe it or not, it all starts with the really simple stuff, the things we see every day, and just figuring out the clearest way to describe them.
So, let me ask you something. Just take a second. Imagine you had to explain a super common object, something you use all the time, to someone who has no idea what it is. What words pop into your head? Seriously, where would you even begin?
Chances are, after a bit of thought, you'd probably land on a word just like this one. Knife. It's simple, it's direct, we all get it. But, and this is the cool part, there's something really special about this specific word that kind of unlocks a whole fascinating story about how we communicate.
And here's the thing that got me started down this rabbit hole. I was looking it up, and I found this one little line in the Simple English Wiktionary. It just said, "Knife is on the Basic English 850 list." And I was like, wait, what is that? The Basic English 850 list. Turns out that one sentence is the key to a really radical, kind of wild idea about language.
So yeah, what is this list? Well, it's not just some random collection of words someone threw together. No, it's actually the heart of a whole system, a really powerful one, designed with a single massive goal: to make communication so simple that basically anyone, anywhere in the world could understand it. And that brings us to the big question, right? What exactly is Basic English? Because it's an idea that kind of flips everything we think we know about language on its head. You know, that idea that having a huge vocabulary is always better? Basic English asks, well, what if it's not? What if you could say pretty much everything you needed to say, but with way, way fewer words?
And here it is. Here's the answer. Basic English is this super efficient, stripped-down version of English. The whole thing, this huge idea, is built on just 850 words. That's it. The theory was that with just those words, you could explain complex stuff, you could teach English to beginners, and maybe most importantly, you could connect people from all over the world.
So let's just let that number sink in for a second. 850. Not 8,500, not 85,000, just 850. The whole idea is that with this one carefully chosen toolkit of words, you can pretty much build sentences to describe almost anything. It's a wild concept, right? And our word knife, it's one of those essential 850 building blocks.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does it actually work? Well, the best way to see it is to just go back to our example. Let's really dig into how Basic English treats the word knife, because it shows you the whole philosophy in action. It's really the perfect case study.
And this focus on simplicity, it starts with the most basic thing, how the word sounds. Look at this. There's just one way to say it. Knife. That's it. No different versions. Doesn't matter if you're in America or the UK, the goal is one single, clear sound that everyone can understand. Okay, but think about it. If you've only got 850 words, they've got to work hard, right? They need to be flexible. They can't just have one single job. And knife is a fantastic example of a word that pulls double duty.
You can see exactly what I mean right here. Knife isn't just a noun, a thing. It's also a verb, an action. And making words do this, play multiple roles, is totally essential. It's how you make a system with only 850 words so darn efficient.
Okay, now check out the definition for the noun, a tool that cuts. That's it. It's just so simple and clear. No complicated academic words. It just tells you what the thing does using other simple words that are also on the list. This is the whole system working perfectly. And even the synonyms it offers follow the same rule. Blade, cutter, both are simple, physical words that are easy to understand. So you get a little bit of flexibility, but without making things complicated. All right, now let's look at the verb. Again, the definition is super direct. To stab someone with a knife. Yeah, it's pretty blunt, I know. But there's absolutely no way to misunderstand that, right? And in a system where clarity is everything, there's just no space for confusion.
And look, the synonym is just as straightforward. Stab. Just one powerful, clear action word. It really shows you how the system works. It links an action directly to the most obvious and clear word for it.
Okay, so let's zoom out a little. We've been focused on this one word, knife, but what does it all tell us about the bigger picture? Well, it really shows us the core idea behind Basic English, and it's a principle that's way bigger than just one word.
And this is it. This is the whole point. The entire philosophy is about getting the most clarity you possibly can with the fewest words possible. Maximum clarity, minimum words. It's a really powerful idea, especially today when everything feels so complicated all the time.
And to kind of drive this point home, here's one last really interesting number from the Wiktionary page. The entry for our word knife actually exists in 85 different languages. Now, that's not part of the basic English system itself, but wow, it really shows you how universal the need is to define these basic fundamental things.
And that really brings us right back to where we started. You have 85 different languages all trying to define the same simple tool. And then you have this elegant solution of just 850 words. It's this tiny toolkit with this absolutely huge ambition to connect the entire world through simple, shared understanding.
So that kind of leaves us with a question. A challenge, really. If you had to get rid of all your fancy jargon, all your complicated vocabulary, how would you explain your job, or what you're passionate about, or your biggest ideas? What could you actually explain with just 850 words?